guys. This was because I wasn't really seeing growth.
Open the fucking door! Open the fucking ground! You have 30 days.
Oh, Gio, thank God. Okay. I can't explain. I don't have a lot of time, but just I need your help. I need an idea for a video. I need something, please.
You like the Fallout games?
Yeah, I played a couple of them. They're pretty good. Why?
I mean, if you like Fallout, you should play the fucking Outer Worlds, bro. It's like Fallout in space.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Go
All
for
right,
it.
no, that works. That works. Thank you, Gio. You have no idea. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Yo, what's up?
Yo.
So, I think I've got like 1 day left, but I think it's done. So I think
All right.
I can just show you.
Oh, bet.
All right, hold on.
Let me check it out.
Hey guys. There are just two quick things I'd like to clarify before we really get into it. Number one, there will be a lot of major spoilers for the Outer Wilds in this video. And number two, this is not primarily a comedic video. Trust me, there will be a few poor attempts at comedy throughout, but that is not the primary purpose. I just wanted to talk about a game I really like. So, yeah, that's all. Enjoy. Wait. So, last thing. Please, I'm begging you, please play this game before you go any further. I know that most of you won't, so I'm gonna continue making this video anyway because I put a lot of time into it, and at this point it's like almost done. But this really is not the type of game that you can experience more than one time. So, if you want me to just tell you what happens, that's fine. Watch the video. If you don't, please play the game. It's really good, and just trust me. Outer Wilds is a very different, very special game. Outer Wilds is a game with very few mechanics, and mostly is honestly just what you make of it. This game has been in my Steam wishlist limbo for probably around like 2 years, and even after hearing nothing but good things about it for that entire time, I was always reluctant to make the purchase. Like so many other titles in my ever-growing personal hell, I saw the Outer Wilds one time, thought, oh, this looks cool, as my mouse auto-locked the Add to Wishlist button. If the one thing you take out of this video is not that you want to play the game, I hope you at least finish it thinking, this looks cool, because it is. Outer Wilds is a single-player, exploration, space, mystery, adventure puzzle game, and I can confidently say that no game has ever nailed those first 3 categories like this one did for me. The first 30 minutes to an hour where you're walking around your home planet trying to figure out where to go is almost surreal the second you look back on it after lifting off. The world seems so big, almost impossible to explore wholly on foot. The immense scale that greets you upon arriving on each planet just never seems to get old. Due to the nature of Outer Wilds' gameplay loop, you're going to be visiting each one of these planets many, many times throughout your playthrough. See, this game is kind of like a roguelike, I think, at least, based on my understanding of the genre. A primary characteristic is that each time you die, you restart the game, in most cases gaining a few permanent upgrades while getting big, run-specific boosts throughout each attempt. While you gain no big run-specific power-ups in Outer Wilds, what you do gain is knowledge. With each new structure, ruin, or device you discover, you learn more about the civilization that preceded your own, a race called the Nomai. Without knowledge, you wouldn't know where to search next in your constant pursuit for answers. You find out pretty quickly that your character is stuck in a time loop, the sun bursting into a supernova after a period of time if you haven't found a way to creatively off yourself just yet. You will likely see it dozens of times, but the event never quite loses its punch. All of the time you've just spent searching for the means to get even one step ahead of your rapidly decaying sun is gone. In an instant. Hearing the soundtrack dramatically ramp up triggers such a frantic instinct to observe and read as much as possible, because even that first time, if you don't know it's coming, you know that something is. You finally hear that initial boom, which signals not your death, but that your time is up. Rather than dying, you get to wait in despair as you watch the remnants of your solar system being devoured by the expanding explosion that was once your star. Around every corner of my playthrough, I feared some hostile alien creature that never appeared, although several encounters were genuinely more terrifying than that could have been. Quietly awaiting the bright flash that would send you back to the start. Plunging into the depths of an alien ocean, even something as simple as pressing the wrong button or overshooting a launch as you slowly but surely drift miles off into space, actually wishing you were on the ground of one of those foreign yet familiar planets. Just kidding! Not a single one of those fucking things is scarier than the goddamn anglerfish! But more on those later. Looking at the promotional art, characters, and even some of the reviews, what I expected out of the Outer Wilds is a cute little space adventure, kind of like No Man's Sky, but that's not what I got. While parts of this game are that, Outer Wilds is actually a very grim existentialist experience. As the player, you get to relive your days in the system, trying so hard to stop what you already know is coming. However, the more you uncover about the Nomai, the more depressing the world's past and the game's message becomes. The Nomai were a spacefaring race searching for something called the Eye of the Universe. What is this ominously titled eye? Who fucking knows? Some believed it to be a living being, or something created by an ultimate precursor race, and maybe you're never meant to know. What they did all believe is that it was at the center of the universe. Upon discovering your system, their ship, what is only referred to as the vessel, was critically wounded, leaving the living Nomai to rush the escape pods, landing on the planets you're set to explore. Although you find evidence that they did at one point flourish, the logs you discover show that most of the time spent without their mothership was used fighting to survive. Judging by the bones, ruins, and otherwise lack of anything Nomai, they clearly did not do a very good job. At one point, the Nomai even resorted to something called the Sun Station, a sort of satellite intended to use the sun for energy. It is implied that this is actually the cause of your star's imminent death. While searching for the eye without the vessel, the Nomai theorized that maybe the eye chose them to find it, to use it for whatever divine purpose they had in mind. It seems, though, that towards the end of their lifespan, the race somberly decided that it had not been chosen, that it was just a case of right eye, wrong place, and wrong time. Eventually, you come across writings of a moon that seems to vacation to the other planets when no eyes are currently on it, which sounds a whole lot like a silly little rock you should have observed back on your home planet. They describe this as the quantum moon. As you progress through the game, you will inevitably venture to sites in which you learn about the quantum rules. These being, number 1, the rule of quantum imaging, which states that observing a quantum object or an image of one has the same result, meaning that using your handy little scout/camera prevents you from technically losing sight of it, which holds it in place. Number 2, the rule of quantum entanglement. This rule states that if one is only observing a quantum object, they will travel with the object. Unlike the first 2 rules, the third won't really come in handy during your playthrough, but is most important for later, so I'll omit the details until then. To understand the rest of the story, you should probably first understand the astral bodies it will all be taking place on. First and foremost is Timberhearth. This is your home planet that you may fully explore only 2 or 3 times, aside from the dozens of times you'll be blinking the quantum moon away as you wake up. Orbiting Timberhearth is the Adelrock, its only moon. Again, there isn't much to see on either of these, but there are some important pieces of information you'll need for late game. It's something you might need for the DLC. The planet I visited second was the aptly named Brittle Hollow, a beautiful yet terrifying shell with a nice black hole center, orbited by its own volcanic moon called Hollow's Lantern. The gravitational pull of Brittle Hollow will suck in big ol' rocks from the lantern, causing the planet to break apart over the course of each loop. I took my third trip to Giant's Deep, a water planet with a few islands and is covered in cyclones. Then, of course, there are the Hourglass Twins, Ash and Ember Twin, closely orbiting each other, very close to the sun. Ash, depending on when in your loop you discover it, can either be a big ball of ash or a big ball of rock with some very useful late-game travel points. Its twin, Ember, again varies on when you visit it in your loop. Early on, this will either be a vastly explorable desert, tunnels and lore reaching all the way to the center, or you can come back later when it's just a big ball of ash. Hence their title. The Hourglass Twins can function as a clock for your loop, the sun exploding by the time all of the ash from Ash Twin is sucked onto Ember Twin. Finally, there's the Dark Bramble, a mysterious and truly terrifying contagion that ate your planet's fifth system long before you can remember. I promise you will be unlucky enough to explore it, but more on that later. Although that's all of the planets, there are a few more things worth mentioning. The Sun Station orbits the Sun, of course, and then there's the orbital probe cannon orbiting Giant's Deep. And lastly, there's the Interloper, a comet you might visit once or twice with a core that is assumed to have burst, releasing some virus killing all living Nomai in your system. One of the biggest tasks you find yourself asked to accomplish in the game is to venture into the center of Ash Twin, where there is said to be some project which almost altered the course of the universe itself. After making your way inside, you discover that the Ash Twin project is the cause of the loop you find yourself stuck in. As a last resort, the Nomai secured a way to send their memories back through the statues in the loop when the sun goes supernova, causing them to relive the same 22 minutes over and over and over again, each time with more knowledge than before. Ultimately, it appeared it didn't matter, seeing as there are none left to tell you the tale themselves. The project is powered by an advanced warp core, basically the single most powerful energy source they could get their hands on. With only a few loose ends to tie up, you visit the orbital probe cannon, which you find in utter shambles. Although broken, you learn that the probe was fired to and actually located the eye of the universe, but fired off with such force that it shattered the whole device to bits, presumably launching the probe tracking module off into space. After finding a way in, the coordinates of the eye are yours. You just have to find a way to get there. Upon learning the final quantum rule that you must depart from the moon's north pole to reach its sixth location, the eye, you head to the quantum moon to enter the shrine the Nomai constructed so long ago. Using the second rule to planet hop, you eventually make your way around the varying planet's terrain to reach the North Pole. From here, you travel to the eye's location. You are met with rough, dark surroundings and a very menacing sky, but the silver lining, you meet the one living Nomai, the only one you will see the whole game. Her name is Solanum. Solanum was stranded on the quantum moon when her race died. You have difficult conversation with her, but little is clarified. You learn that the Nomai are tasked with coming to the sixth location as a sort of Nomai rite of passage. She tells you that the clouds above you are not the eye itself, but merely the closest you can comprehend to the moon's reflection of it. You leave with lore, but not much else. It is finally time for you to venture into the Dark Bramble, where you're met with these fucking anglerfish, man. Anyways, there's not much to see here, as the Dark Bramble is mostly void of ever-expanding space. It's not easy to explain, but that's the best way for me to do so. You seek out Feldspar, a Hearthian pilot who your race thought to be dead years ago, and he'll point you to the core. Again, not much to see. The main attraction, however, is the fucking vessel, baby. If you manage to make it past the fish waiting for you in your path to the vessel, you're met with a broken warp core, bodies, and current messages from distant Nomai clans. It's revealed that other clans are still alive and have noticed that the universe is rapidly decaying, with suns going supernova left and right. They offer a sort of alliance with all the other clans to try and find a solution to this cosmic apocalypse, going as far as to say that all the others who don't join will not be extended any helping hand in the future. Anyways, skip ahead a little bit, you have the coordinates from the tracking module, you know where the warp core is, and you know where the vessel is. All that's left to do is get all of it in just one loop. If you manage to do all of that, in the vessel you warp just outside of the eye before opening a portal onto it. What follows is one of the most subtly unsettling sequences I've ever experienced in a video game. You walk through the darkness, eventually finding your way to the north pole of the eye and being sucked up into the sky. You quickly find yourself back in the museum of your homeworld, lights dark with no way out. As you make your way through, you are eventually teleported to a forest, lit by bright lights suspended in the air. As you get closer to each one, it resembles a supernova. You make your way around, leading the fellow Hearthians you met across your journey to a campfire. As they all begin to play the instruments you could hear individually across the system, you're left to wonder what could even be next. The music stops. You step into the darkness. What you're met with is a flash of light, an explosion, a cacophony of instruments, and then credits roll. Luckily, Morbius Digital leaves you with its own little Marvel and credits scene to hint you towards what the hell you just watched. What I made of it, and by made of it, I mean looked up what other people made of it, is that the journey to the eye resulted in what can only be described as another Big Bang, resulting in the hard reset your world and apparently the whole universe really needed in the end. Or should I say Bug Bang, baby? Let's... So now you might have some questions. What is it that makes this game so special? Should I even still play it? I will answer the second one first. because it's easier to reason why while I answer number 1. Uno. Yes, you should still play this game. Why? Well, Dos, as I said a little while ago, this is hands down one of the best mystery or exploration games I have ever played. Even though it feels like I just explained the whole game in, like 10, 15 minutes, most of it is very watered down because, well, I'm an idiot. From the absolutely gorgeous soundtrack to the walls of text that the devs somehow make as gripping as audible dialogue, this game is worth experiencing. Everything together makes for a truly ethereal adventure that I honestly believe everybody should get to play. On top of that, there's still a whole DLC left to go through, which I have given absolutely no details about in this video. The Echoes of the Eye, while being labeled as a DLC, is effectively a whole-ass sequel contained right in the game. I would love to show off some of the locations from it, or some of the sequences, but I simply just don't want to spoil it for those who might indulge themselves, because in some ways it's actually more beautiful and more compelling than the base game. So, short answer, yes, you should still play it. That's all. Good night. So, what'd you think?
That was pretty good, but that's not the game I told you to play.
What do you mean? Outer Wilds?
That's
What you told me to...
Outer Worlds.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a completely different game. Outer Worlds.
Hey guys, thank you for watching. I just have a couple of things I want to say. I really hope you enjoyed, because I put a lot of time into this. And if you didn't, sorry. I don't... You watched it anyway, so... I just want to give a shout out to a couple people real quick. Number 1 is Gio for his small but very appreciated part he played in this video. Number 2 is my lovely, nameless, faceless girlfriend. She did all the art for my channel rebrand, the banner and the new profile picture. And so on Twitch and here I'll be linking her website. And then, of course, I just wanted to thank all my friends because they really pushed me to actually get back to it. And so, hopefully this means I'll actually be making videos again. But no promises because we've seen what I've done in the past. So, thank you for watching again. And I'll see you next time.